The envelope feels like a brick in my hands. It's just paper, but it holds the weight of 2 families, 2 lives, and the complete unraveling of the man I love. My husband, Ben, is upstairs, sleeping peacefully for the first time in weeks, finally believing the nightmare is over. He thinks the secret is just a long-lost sibling. He has no idea. And I'm standing in our moonlit kitchen, staring at the glossy professional logo of the private investigator I hired. The full report is inside. The truth. I can hear my own heart thrashing against my ribs. If I open this, if I learn what's inside, I become the gatekeeper of a pain so profound it might destroy him. But if I burn it, I live a lie forever. And I let a sweet, hopeful woman who just found her brother live a lie too. My fingers tremble on the seal. This is the moment I split my own life in 2. Before this night and after. I take a sharp, shallow breath and tear it open. It all started with a stupid plastic tube. Ben and I were the boring, happy couple. We met in line at a coffee shop, argued about the merits of oat milk, and married 2 years later. He's a structural engineer, steady, logical, built things to last. I'm a freelance graphic designer. A little messier, more intuitive. Our life was a comfortable blueprint. Thursday night takeout. Saturday morning hikes with our aging Labrador, Duke, and the quiet, deep-seated certainty that we knew each other. Truly knew each other. Our 7th anniversary was coming up. The modern gift is supposed to be copper or wool. I got him a DNA test. It'll be fun, I said, waving the box at him over breakfast. Duke was nudging my knee for bacon. You can find out if you're really 2% Neanderthal like you always joke. Maybe we'll find a long-lost count in your lineage. You can finally claim that castle in Switzerland. Ben smiled, that warm, crinkly-eyed smile that still made my stomach flip. He peered at the box. Genealogy quest, huh? So they get my DNA and sell it to aliens who'll clone an army of boring engineers. Exactly. An army loyal only to me. I nudged his foot with mine. Come on. Something different. My mom already did one. We found out she's got a bit of North African heritage she never knew about. It's a conversation starter. He relented because he always relented to my little whims. He swabbed his cheek at the kitchen island, making a ridiculous gagging face. I sealed the vial, sent it off, and forgot about it. Life resumed its pleasant rhythm. The email arrived 6 weeks later on a rainy Tuesday. Your genealogy quest results are ready. I was designing a logo, headphones on, in my own world. I almost deleted it as spam before remembering. Ben. I called upstairs to his makeshift office. Your ancestry results are in. He clomped down the stairs, looking adorably rumpled. Let's see if I'm secretly royalty. I could use a new title. Lord Benjamin of Suburbia. I clicked the link, logged in, and the colorful pie chart of his ethnicity estimate popped up. Mostly British and Irish, a dash of Scandinavian. Predictable. We scrolled, laughing at the vague traits. Likely has a detached earlobe. Probable aversion to cilantro. Then we clicked the tab labeled DNA Relatives. The page loaded. At the very top, with a match labeled Close Family 49% DNA shared, was a name. Samantha Lewis. And next to the relationship prediction, in bold, unchangeable text, sister or half-sister. The air left the room. The only sound was the hum of the refrigerator and the soft pat-pat-pat of Duke's tail on the floor. That's a mistake, Ben said, his voice unnaturally flat. That has to be a mistake. I'm an only child. I stared at the screen. The percentage was definitive. Full siblings share about 50%. This was 49%. Ben, this is a full sibling match. This is a sister. No, the word was final. He stood up, his chair scraping harshly against the hardwood. My parents would have told me. My mom, she would have? He trailed off, his logical mind already hitting a wall. He was pale. It's a glitch. A contaminated sample. Something. But I was already clicking on Samantha's profile. She'd opted to share some information. Her profile picture showed a woman in her early 30s with a kind smile and light brown eyes. Ben's eyes. Her birth year, 3 months before Ben's. My brain, the messy, intuitive one, started connecting dots with terrifying speed. 3 months apart. Full sibling. Ben, I whispered, the realization cold in my veins. She wasn't given up for adoption after you. She was given up before you were born. He looked at me, uncomprehending for a second. Then the logic, his beautiful structured logic, crumbled. If they were full siblings born mere months apart, then they had to share the same 2 parents. His father and mother had a child they gave away, and then had Ben, and never ever spoke of it. The next week was a fog of quiet devastation. Ben moved through the house like a ghost. He didn't call his parents. He said he needed to process the data, but it was grief. Grief for the parents he thought he knew, for the history he believed was solid, for the sister he never got to meet. I became a detective. I found Samantha on social media. Her profile was private, but her cover photo was of her with a little girl, maybe 5, at a pumpkin patch. She looked happy, normal. She had a life. My heart ached for her and for Ben. You should message her, I urged gently one night, rubbing his stiff shoulders. She's your sister. She must have gotten the same match. She might be waiting for you. He finally agreed. His message was stiff, polite. Hello, Samantha. My name is Ben. According to Genealogy Quest, we are a close DNA match. I was raised as an only child. Would you be open to talking? Her reply came within the hour. It was a torrent of emotion, excitement, nervousness, years of wondering poured into a single paragraph. Oh my gosh, Ben. I've been checking this site every day since my results came in. I was adopted as a newborn. I have so many questions. Can we call? They talked for 2 hours that first night. I listened from the hallway, not to the words but to the tone. Ben's voice, so guarded at first, slowly thawed. I heard a laugh, a real genuine laugh, and it felt like a miracle. After he hung up, he looked shell-shocked, but there was a light in his eyes. She's amazing, he said, his voice thick. She's a pediatric nurse. She has a daughter, Rosie. Her adoptive parents were wonderful, but she always felt a piece was missing. He looked at me, tears finally welling. She sounds like me. She finishes my sentences. It was the twist we'd begun to accept. The shocking, painful, but ultimately beautiful story of a secret child. Ben decided he wanted to meet her. He also decided he had to confront his parents. We drove to his childhood home on a Sunday afternoon. The air in the car was thick with dread. His mother, Carol, welcomed us with her usual tight hug, her signature lily-of-the-valley perfume enveloping us. His father, Richard, was in his armchair watching golf. Over slices of dry coffee cake, Ben placed his phone on the table, Samantha's photo on the screen. He didn't yell. He just said, "Mom, Dad, who is Samantha Lewis?" The reaction was not what we expected. Richard's face went slack with confusion. He leaned forward, squinting at the phone. Who? But Carol. Carol made a small choke sound like an animal caught in a trap. All the color drained from her face. Her hand flew to her mouth. She didn't look at the phone. She looked only at Ben, her eyes wide with pure, unadulterated terror. "It was a mistake," she whispered, the words barely audible. "A young woman's mistake. We gave her a better life." Ben, ever the engineer, laid out the facts. "The test says we share 49% of our DNA. That's a full sibling, Mom. Born 3 months before me. You had a baby girl and gave her away. Why didn't you ever tell me?" Richard was sputtering now. "A full sibling? Carol, what is he talking about? What test?" And then Carol did the most shocking thing of all. She looked not at Ben, but directly at me, her gaze pleading and desperate. "You," she breathed. "You did this. With your modern nonsense. Why couldn't you leave well enough alone?" It was the wrong thing to say. Ben stood up, a wall of protective fury. "Don't you dare blame her. We have a right to know. I have a right to know who my sister is. The word sister seemed to break something in Carol. She looked at her husband's utterly bewildered, innocent face, then back at her son. A profound, heartbreaking shame settled over her features. She's not your sister, Ben, Carol said, her voice suddenly clear and hollow. A beat of silence. What? Ben asked. She's my daughter. Carol's confession dropped like a stone. But Richard is not her father. The room froze. The ticking of the grandfather clock in the hall was suddenly deafening. Richard stared at his wife, his jaw working soundlessly. Carol spoke to the tablecloth, her story pouring out in a monotone of old pain. A brief affair, a desperate time in her first year of marriage. Pregnancy. The biological father wanted nothing to do with it. Terrified of losing her new husband, her new life, she hid it. Told Richard she was visiting a sick aunt for the summer. Had the baby. Gave her up. Came home. 3 months later, she got pregnant with Ben, Richard's son. She buried the first child so deep she almost convinced herself it never happened. You're not brother and sister, she finished, finally looking at Ben, her eyes swimming in tears. You're half-siblings. You share me, but not him. She gestured weakly toward Richard, who looked shattered, old and lost. The twist wasn't a hidden sibling. It was a hidden parent. Ben's foundation, the man he called Dad, the man he'd inherited his love of blueprints and baseball from, was not his biological father. And the sister he'd just begun to love was a living testament to his mother's infidelity and his father's, no, Richard's unwitting loyalty. We drove home in absolute silence. Ben was a statue. When we walked into our dark kitchen, he finally shattered. He didn't cry. He just started repeating. Who am I? What is my name? I don't know who I am. That's when I made the decision. I held him and said, You are Ben. You are my husband. You are the man who builds things. That hasn't changed. And then I said, Do you want to know? About the other man. He was silent for a long time. Then he nodded just once. A weary broken nod. That's when I hired the investigator. I used the little information Carol, in her subsequent guilt-ridden collapse, provided. A name, a city, an old employer. Now, standing in the kitchen, I read the investigator's report under the dim glow of the stove light. I learn about the biological father. He's alive. He's a retired electrician. He's been married twice, has other children. He has no idea Ben exists. According to the report, he's a decent man. Likes fishing. Volunteers at a food bank. This is the moment from the cold open. The brick in my hands. I have his address. His phone number. A recent grainy photo of him loading groceries into his car. I didn't tell Ben that night. I hid the report. I let him sleep. In the morning, I made coffee and sat across from him. He looked hollowed out. I have a choice for you, I said, my voice steady. I can tell you everything I found out about him. Or I can burn it. We can tell Samantha the truth, that you share a mother but not a father. And then we can decide together what to do next. But we decide together. You are not alone in this. He looked at me for what felt like an eternity. He saw the strength I was trying to lend him. Finally, he reached across the table and took my hand. Tell me, he said. So I did. I showed him the photo. Ben stared at it, searching for his own face in the older man's features. He saw it, I think, in the set of the jaw. A month later, Ben and Samantha met in person. It was awkward and beautiful and sad. They decided, mutually, to be siblings in spirit, if not in the full genetic sense they'd hoped for. The bond they'd forged in those first calls held. She was a part of him and now a part of us. Ben has not contacted the biological father. He says he might one day, but not now. He's focusing on rebuilding a relationship with Richard, who, to his eternal credit, after the shock and anger, looked at Ben and said, You are my son. You will always be my son. That woman upstairs is my granddaughter. He and Carol are in counseling. But Ben and his mother, that's a colder landscape. There's a distance there that may never fully close. The trust is broken. So here we are. Our fun DNA test rewrote our family history. We have an extra sister, a grieving father, a shamed mother, and a ghost of a man who may or may not ever know he has a son. And I'm left with this one lingering question that I lie awake at night turning over. I started this whole chain reaction. I bought the test. I pushed him to look. I unearthed a truth that caused immense pain. I gave him a sister, but I took away his father. So I have to ask you, was the truth worth the cost?